This is my life. I am going to live my life. I've only got one life. and so why should I listen to the opinions of others who don't know me? For months, I have been agonizing about what I want to do next. Should I hang up my posing trunks and start doing something else? And after a lot of thought and after these last two shows, I finally made up my mind. First, the whole reason why I got into this, it was 1977 or 1978. I was 13 years old and I saw Pumping Iron. And when I saw that movie, that's when I knew that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I wanted to be a bodybuilder. And of course, my parents did their very best to discourage me from doing that. But I did it anyway. I worked out a lot and I did okay. I did get injured and it kind of stopped me for a while. And I truly do regret that I stopped bodybuilding at that time. But the next thing I went from, working out all the time, didn't know what the hell we were doing, to the wrestling team and just went from one sport to another. I got into this and back into bodybuilding at a late age, into my late 40s. And man, do I really regret that, because this is something I've been truly interested in and passionate about, for decades, and I truly regret that I stopped doing it. I listen to and watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I listen to these younger YouTubers say, well, he's 40 years old, he's pretty much washed up, and, it's 50, and it's dangerous to be bodybuilding at this age or at that age. He shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be holding on to that amount of muscle. And that was really ringing in my head a lot. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And then I really got to thinking about this over the weekend, and there's a big difference there's like two major types of bodybuilders. There's the people, the real competitive bodybuilders, the guys who are doing the New York Pro, their big aim is to get to Olympia, and, their big dream is to be Mr. Olympia. And you get to a point where you realize, either you're going to hit it or you're going to realize that I will never be Mr. Olympia. And I get to a point where I'm either injured or I'm not enjoying this anymore, or, maybe since I'm not going to achieve my dream of being Mr. Olympia, maybe I should just go ahead and stop competitive bodybuilding. But when you go to a master's show and you meet guys who are 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, who are still doing this. They're not doing this because they want to be Mr. Olympia. They're doing this because they love it. They have been doing this for decades. And some of them are kind of our late starters like myself, but they do it because they love it. I love it because I'm very competitive. I love being on stage. I love posing. And, it is the process, the journey of going from off season to competition season to be stage ready. Yeah, it's painful and there's a lot of suffering, but every year it steels me and hardens me, and I see that how hard I am personally willing to work to get to where I want to be. My big goal is to get better every year. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it is great to place. I love, doing well. And it's a marker that, uh, when I did the Masters World Championships, I was 10th in classic physique. And when at this last show, I was 7th. And, there were just as many guys. So, at least I did a little better. And, that makes me encouraged. And it's fun, Yeah, there's a lot of suffering in it, but it's fun. And I love meeting all the people. So, what did I learn from this year or this past year? That I actually went on stage 10 pounds, 10 pounds heavier than I did before. So that lets me know that the nutrition program that I was using worked, and the off season or the competition season nutrition plan worked really well. Moving down to 4 days a week and being much more intensive really worked well. So this lets me know that if I really stay on point with my nutrition this year, my off-season nutrition, I'm always very on point for competition season. If I can hold on through the off-season, following my nutrition plan, hitting my protein, getting my aminos, then I know I can add more size. So I really feel like I can do better next year, and I will be competing as a 60-year-old on a more level playing field than competing when you're a month away from 60 and you're competing with guys who just turned 50. There's a big difference in there. So this year, I really want to focus on just getting my waist tighter. I want to be able to do a much better vacuum. I'm going to work really hard this year on getting a really great vacuum. I still want to continue to work on the outer sweep of my quads and continue to increase the size of my adductors to make my my thighs look bigger. The vastus medius, the teardrop is good. I just need to work on that outer sweep. And the main thing I need to work on is my triceps. I have just genetically poorly shaped triceps. They're pretty darn strong, but I just need to develop a better program to get more growth out of them. And that is kind of a trial and error thing over time. And we'll see what I can do with that. I have some ideas. I'm going to give it a try. The biggest problem for continuing to compete is finance. This year started off like gangbusters for me. As most of you know, I'm a trainer, coach. I'm a nutritionist. Business was going like gangbusters the first 6 months, and then it just dropped off horrendously this year. And I have really suffered financially. Really suffered financially the second half of the year. Whew. I hope things pick up toward the end of the year. I really do. So another thing that I'm going to do this year is, as far as super sups, I don't think I need as much as I have been using. I honestly don't. And so there's some things I'm never going to use again. I do understand that less is more, and I don't need to take so much. And I'm really going to focus on that a lot this year. But first, I have to give my kidneys a break, let my system reset. And that's why it's doubly important for me to stay on top of my food so that I'm giving my body all the things that it needs to grow. Because right now, I'm still like a sponge, man. I'm probably going to start. I said I'd give myself 2 weeks. I might start like mid next week. But I have to hold off the clinical depression. If I don't work out, my depression will kick back in, and I know what the signs are, and so working out hard is the only thing that just keeps that depression in check. So I honestly have no choice. I have to keep on working out. And if I don't, the consequences, are dire. So this is another reason why I decided I just can't quit being competitive. And if I don't have a goal just to go to the gym and work out, and I'm in an age where there's no damn way I'm going to continually to put myself under heavier loads. I have no interest in getting under 315 pounds on an incline press and seeing if I can get up to a working set on that. It's not going to happen, and it's a bad idea. Time under tension is what I need, and that's what my body needs to grow. So I'm not going that route. So why not do what you love and compete? So I was talking to an older gentleman backstage, I think 64, and he's been competing for a long time. He said that was his 55th show he was doing. I asked him, I said, have you ever thought about giving it up? And he said, hell no. He said, this is who I am. You know, I have a job, but who I am and what I am is a bodybuilder. And that's exactly the way I feel. That's how I identify myself. Yeah, I'm no Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I look pretty damn good for being almost 60 years old. And yeah, I might have been the smallest guy there, but I was the best conditioned, and I honestly feel like I was the best poser on stage. So this is what I love. It is my identity. It is my self identity. It is the lifestyle that I love. So why should I give that up? I know my father would really love for me to give this up and go work behind a desk, but I'd rather hang myself than sit behind a desk and work. I just can't do that. When you are on stage, and when you go out on stage and you're at the end of the line and they call your number and you move toward the middle, man, that they're just, oh God, that feels so good. And then when they call your number again and they move you closer to the middle, and when you are called and you are put in the middle, man, the dopamine comes alive in your body. And I cannot describe to you how good and how much that makes you feel when you get called into that middle spot. And that's part of the competition stuff that I love, man. I love the strategy of it. Why should I let other younger people who've never been my age or know what I've gone through say that this is dangerous and I shouldn't be doing it? They don't know me. And here's the God's honest truth. I am to the point now where I don't give a crap about what any young person thinks about me or what anybody else thinks about me either, except for maybe my girlfriend, as long as I'm not doing anything stupid or doing anything that's harming anybody else. But this is my life. I am going to live my life. I've only got one life. And so why should I listen to the opinions of others who don't know me? And they obviously have never talked to over the 400 athletes, masters athletes that were at the Daytona Pro. We are all people who do this because we love this. And you are not washed up when you are 40. You are not washed up when you are 50. You're not even washed up when you're 60. You do this because you love it. And that's why I'm not going to retire. I'll see you back on stage next year.